Yo, Jimmy, man, give me the status. Tell me we good. Beautiful. It's gonna be an all time of the night. All right. Fire 'em up!
And that is exactly what we are doing, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Ludacris said from the movie, the franchise, Too Fast, Too Furious. We are firing them up. Why? Because we have an all-timer tonight. And I tell you right now, if you're ready to be encouraged, if you're ready to be empowered, if you are ready to be able to take yourself to heights that you yourself did not think that you would ever be able to reach, you do not want to miss this episode. We have a brand new family member. You guys know how we do it here at the SBMG. First time guest. As soon as the show starts, you become an immediate family member. We have backstage and getting ready to step into the studio one of the most phenomenal women that I have ever met. And when I tell you that, I have never met her in person, but you know how we do it in social media and all those things. I mean, you can kind of sense who you're dealing with whenever you come across that person, and you can tell that they instantly add something of value to your life. And that is exactly what this young lady has done. We're talking about professional football player Kristyn Aoake. I hope I said that right because I've been practicing all for the last 2 weeks. And she's gonna come in here in just a second and either correct me or she's going to crucify me. Hopefully, it won't be the latter. She's a terrific football player. She is a phenomenal mom. She is a workout queen, and she is a person who you are going to be able to glean something from. We're gonna bring her in here in just a second. But before we do that, you already know what we got to do. You already know what it is. So without further ado, let's go get it. Come on.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Yeah, I know what it is. You little suckers get to talking, crabbing out walking, strapped to the pong of their jaws and smacking they sleep with the golfers. And they getting greedy like saying, give me
all. Yes, sorry, buddy. You already know what it is when you hear that music and you see that video, that entrance. You already know what time it is. It is another edition of the Ballers Report pod right here, powered by the Shakeback Media Group. And of course, we are simulcasting with the big game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy Willie Epteen Jr. holding down. We're going to bring Kristyn in here in just a second. Before we actually do that, man, this second segment, or this part of the show, it is being brought to you by guess who? Well, it's the very same people who have been instrumental in this whole interview taking place. Front End Sports, founded in 2022. Front End Sports is dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, organizations with cutting-edge social media, merchandising, and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Their team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports marketing, design, technology, who share a passion for helping their clients succeed and unlock their full potential. So guess what you need to do? And Kristyn's gonna talk about them in here in just a second, maybe. But you need to go to Google, put in Front End Sports, check them out. Tell them that your boy Willie Epteen Jr. from the Big Game Christian Sports Network, the Shakeback Media Group, the Ballers Report podcast, and of course the Shakeback Sports Show told you to holler them so y'all can set it off on getting your brand straight. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring her in. That's enough talking on my part. Kristyn, welcome to the family. How you doing?
What's up? I think that's the best build-up I've ever had by anyone before.
Well, it's easy to say things when they're the truth. How about that?
I mean, I like it. And shout out to Front End Sports. I've seen their work. And I will say I'm in the marketing. I'm a marketing manager myself, and it looks good.
Yes. And Front End Sports they've been terrific. In actuality, Kristyn, we have a conversation that's going to be taking place between myself and them a little later in the week, and I'm so very excited because there's some things that I think that we can bring to the table that can actually help them, and then of course them helping us. All right, so are you ready to get to this? Because this is
I'm
going to be fun.
ready.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so before we actually get into the nuts and bolts and the meat and potatoes of the show, I need you to tell us something. Tell us something about Kristyn. Give us a fun fact. One thing about yourself that people may not know, that nobody knows, or very few people know.
I would say very few people know that I actually grew up a swimmer. I've been swimming since I was 4. Turned into water polo through high school and middle school, and I got to a pretty high level. And so that was my original sport. And then I've only been playing for football for about 3 seasons.
Water polo, that reminds me, and you may not know about this, but that reminds me of the original Kings of Comedy when Cedric the Entertainer was talking about golf and Tiger Woods and how black people have now ventured into the golf ventured into golf, and how he was talking about, we venturing into different things, man. We talking about golf, water polo, hockey. I don't know about hockey. But anyway, so yeah. So when you say you got to a pretty high level, what level was that? I mean, are you talking college? Are you talking about professional? Are you talking about semi-pro or what?
So I was about 13 and I was in the development squad for my country. I ended up having a bit of a shoulder injury, and then I couldn't go as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate, but as we know, there's always a silver lining behind some sort of blessing, and we're going to get to the blessing part here in just a second. But you mentioned your country, so I am the only one on this show that has a bit of an accent. So, Kristyn, when you say your country, talk about just that. You're from where originally?
I'm from New Zealand. So tiny little country. We don't make it on the map sometimes. So if you go to the store and you see a world map, sometimes New Zealand is like the bottom right corner, and we don't make it on all the maps. But little island country, surrounded by beautiful oceans, lots of beautiful landscapes. I think there's like 43 volcanoes, dormant ones. But 4.3 million people, which is a big difference compared to the amount that I know America has.
New Zealand. And if you are a geographical nerd like I am, everything that she just said, you already knew. I know exactly where New Zealand is. That's one of the places on my bucket list that I want to visit. So tell me, Kristyn, why? What is it about New Zealand that I should keep on my bucket list, other than what you just stated in terms of, because I don't want to get thrown into no volcano, whether it's dormant or not, and I really can't swim because I know it's an island. So give me a reason, give me another reason why I should keep New Zealand on my bucket list as one of those places I want to travel to.
Beautiful women, if that's in your alley, that would be one. Otherwise, genuine people. Everyone's just so genuine and real. It's very welcoming, especially to Americans because it's so far away.
Well, the beautiful women part, I think I would be okay in saying this, even though I am a husband of 10 plus years. I think I would be okay in saying that that is a plus. I do not want to go to anywhere where the women don't look that great. So I guess it's like going to okay, let me put it this way. I am a diabetic, so I can go to any candy store out there and I can go and look all day long, but I cannot partake. And what you're telling me, or what I'm getting from all of this, is that it sounds as though New Zealand would be that type of a candy store for me. Am I safe in saying or making that assumption?
Yes. But if you ever do want to venture into chocolate, we have a wonderful dairy industry. Best chocolate ever, I would say. Cheese, meat, anything you want. We got it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome, because here in the States, of course, we know that that Wisconsin is the dairy capital of the country. And I am a bit of a cheese lover, so that sounds very, very interesting to me. Okay, so let's get into a few things here in terms of the your career. And while we're here, people have heard enough about me ramble. But let me ask you this though, because I do want to ask you one other question in terms of New Zealand, because to me it's like being compared, or it's like America and Canada, New Zealand and Australia. What are some of the subtle differences between the two countries?
Australia is pretty huge. So there's like a lot more people. They have a whole nother culture of Indigenous people. Um, they have a lot bigger things. It's a little bit more flashy as well. More things to do, I would say, for sure. But we're pretty good friends, New Zealand and Australia, unless you find us against each other at some kind of sport. Then all rivalries only.
I think that's exactly how one can describe the United States and Canada, other than the fact that Canada is very, very diverse in itself as well. And it sounds like there's a lot of two similarities between the United States and Canada, as well as New Zealand and Australia. And Australia also is on my bucket list as well. Is that have you frequently visited Australia?
Yeah, so half my family's there. It's only a 3-hour plane flight. So if you go visit New Zealand, you of course got to go visit Australia, because it's pretty much just flying to another American state. It's so close.
I got it. Well, being as the fact that it is an island, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to New Zealand and you attempt to drive to Australia from New Zealand, you're not gonna be able to do it. That's just I'm gonna give everybody that one for free. All right, so let's get into the show. I need to know, because my curiosity has brought us here, basically because when I saw you and when I saw your social media, I was like, yo, this, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't want you to take any offense to this, and I don't want anybody out there watching to take any offense to this, because when I say this lovingly and with the most utmost respect as I can possibly accentuate. But when I saw this chick on social media, I said, yo, I gotta talk to her. I gotta talk to her. So tell me about the sport of football in New Zealand. Is it American style, or is it more soccer, or what? Let us know what's going on.
So our main sport's rugby. So no pads, no helmet, just straight raw and rough, I would say. So that kind of is predominant over there. And then we've only recently started having kind of American football, and it is called American football over there, or gridiron, some might say. But it's pretty new. But we have smaller leagues. We have men's, we have women's, we have flag that's going on, and they're trying to get a lot bigger. I was actually fortunate enough to go back home in November last year, and I hosted the very first American women's football clinic, and that was run with the New Zealand American Football Federation. And it was just wonderful to be able to give a lot back. I always want to give back to my culture, my community. And they just thought it was amazing that I was over here in America playing and just learning different things and having a different opportunity coming from such a small country.
Holy cow. I want to tell you that my respect level for you just went up about 2 or 3 notches. Okay. So how was that? How was okay? And I'm going to say I'm going to ask, was this clinic for males and females, or just males, or just females, or was it a mixture of both? What was I guess the audience with that?
So this was women's only, so females only. They do have their own male clinics that they run, but they just hadn't had anyone or hadn't had anyone from playing in America that had been from New Zealand that's come back to be able to, give this inside look on how we play here and be able to help guide them. Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Once again, Willie Epting Jr. and we have new family member Kristyn in the building. She is I mean, I have run out of superlatives. I think there was enough in the introduction, but I'm gonna say them again. Phenomenal football player. Most importantly, phenomenal mom. Overall, great woman. One who has shown, and I actually titled this. If you are somebody that has been told something that you can't do, tune in, because she's going to tell you everything, every reason why you can do. So I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to have her on. All right, so let's move on through the show. You've been in America now for what, 6? You said 6 or 7 years?
Almost 7.
Okay. So moving to the United States from New Zealand, was football one of the reasons for that, or what was behind that plan to really leave everything that you know and love behind to come to a whole foreign land?
Absolutely no football involved in this. It was a purely young and in love decision that happened that got me over here. And then just a turn of events happened, and then football popped up. So yeah, it's kind of like a walk-on opportunity, I would say.
Uh-huh. Again, the silver lining behind the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, the silver lining behind the black cloud is what I should have said. So the football portion did not come until how many years after you had already been here?
3. I've been here about 3 years, and then I found football.
Okay, so now the question remains: what in the heck? What in the actual heck happened during that time? What happened for you to be introduced to this barbaric sport that is played by these gladiators with pads and face paint and face mask and helmet and all kind of padding? You talked about it being in New Zealand where there's rugby and there's no padding. What in the actual heck about this game that drew this game to you?
Well, when I first had a look at football, it was the lingerie league. And I know, right? There's a whole different another kind of type of football.
Yes,
but I was like, it's the only football I found when I had Googled it the first time. And I saw these videos of them tackling. I was like, oh, I can do that. So I actually flew in from Vegas the night before for a tryout for the only time they had a Dallas team. And I slept in because you come from Vegas. So clearly I did not sleep in that, wasn't a smart decision. So I turned up 30 minutes late and they would not let me try out. And so I sat there the entire practice and I watched them. And for me, when you watch someone and you know you're better, but you're not allowed to do it, that kind of just revs me up a lot. So they didn't have another Dallas team, and they still haven't had another Dallas team since. And then circle back, I went to an Austin tryout probably 4 years ago, and then again distance, and I couldn't drive yet. I can't drive in this country at this point. And then I kind of just Googled Dallas women's tag football and the next year thinking, oh, maybe there's a team. And then I just stumbled upon, I don't even know what, the different leagues, different teams. And then I was like, okay, here's my chance. Here's a tryout. Went to a tryout, made the team, pretty much history from there.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic example of balance. And a good definition of balance is number one, seeing what you want, and then two, taking the steps to actually go out and get it. And Kristen has just explained to you all of the roadblocks that she has had to endure to be able to get to where she is in the sport of football. Let me say that again. In the sport of football, this ain't gymnastics. This is not softball. This ain't swimming or golf or tennis. This is football. So take heed, take advantage, take advice, and glean from it. So in terms of, I got a lot of other questions, but I got to keep this thing under 35 minutes, and we're already at 12 minutes in. So all that means, Kristen, is that you got to come back another time. Are you opposed to that?
No, not opposed to that.
All right, very good. See how I threw that in there. All right, so let's get to this. Football, and in particular in the NFL in the Americas, in the United States, it runs the show. It is the roost that everybody comes home to. First of all, do you watch a lot of NFL football?
I do now. 3 years ago when I first started football, I don't know which was offense and defense. It took me a minute to see who actually had the ball, but I like to watch it.
Okay, so do you have a favorite team?
Cowboys, Dallas.
Oh,
gotta be loyal. Every year, next year is our year, and I believe in it.
They say that every single
year.
year.
Loyal fans.
But you know what though? I am going to give you a pass. I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but more importantly, I hate their fans. And it's not all fans, but it's some fans. And I'm not going to name them because there are three in particular who absolutely make my skin crawl. So when you're watching, do you have a favorite player?
I don't know.
No favorite player. Okay. So with that being said, so when you're out there playing and you play defense, and I've seen you bring the blade like Cam Chancellor, like Brian Dawkins, and if you don't know who those individuals are, I would encourage you to Google them, because I'm not by any means comparing you to a man. I'm saying football. I'm comparing football player to football player. It just so happens that you're a female. But bringing the blade is what they specialized in. And when I talk about bringing the blade, when you said you saw people tackling other people and you said, I can do that. Guess what? You can do that. You're very good at it. You're very, very good at it. Okay. So are you one of those fans, Kristen, that is loud and obnoxious or boisterous? Or are you one of those fans that's like, yo, chill, we're going to be all right. And, if something happens good, this is what we expected. If something happens bad, okay, guys, calm down. It's going to be cool. Which one are you?
I'm like a chill, but I'm also like a, why would you do that type of person. At the TV. At the TV. Okay. Let me tell you a quick little story. I'm a Raider fan. Lifelong, die hard. The narcotic that is the Raiders, I have been hooked on for years. And there was one game in which the Raiders lost. I think it was against the Rams on Monday Night Football, or on Sunday Night Football this past year. And they let Baker Mayfield, a quarterback who had only been in the building for like 2.5 hours, come in and lead them down the field and score a game-winning touchdown. And I threw my remote towards the door, and it almost hit our stand-up mirror. And my wife, Patrice, said, get out. That's me. All right. So you don't have any real favorite players out there, and that's fine, because I was going to ask you about that. So let's talk about your most important duty, and then I'm going to show a couple of videos, and then we're going to get up out of here. Your most important job as a person is being a mommy. Correct.
Your daughter is beautiful. How old is she, by the way?
She is 4.5.
She's 4.5. She's 4.5, and I'm assuming she's 4.5 going on 15.
Pretty much. She's a mini me, but like adult me.
Uh-huh.
Scary, yeah.
Uh-huh. So does that spell trouble for you or not? If she's a mini you?
It does, but at the same time, I see the determination that I have in her. So we get along as much as we clash,
Mm-hmm. So what does your baby see in you when you're out there on the field knocking heads around? What does that do for you in terms of internal motivation?
So she thinks I'm the absolute greatest,
Mhm.
which I like to think to her that I am. She's come to all my tryouts since the beginning. I've had her on my hip doing ladder drills. She'll scream, "Go, mommy, go," while I'm doing ladders or sprints. It makes me know she's watching, and whatever I do, she knows she can do. So that always keeps me going, and to make sure I'm a good role model for her, not only on the field, but off the field, and just how I live my daily life.
Does she ever tell you, "Mommy, I'm worried about you during this particular game because the other team has some pretty big players and I don't want you to get hurt"? Does that ever happen?
No, I think if she could say a sentence, it would be "Go hit them."
That's right. Go out there and knock some. Go out there and let's break some heads. All right, so I actually have a couple of videos, and you don't know what I'm about to show you, but I promise you're going to be okay. We talked about this in our production meeting, so I know you're going to be okay with it. But I got a couple of videos that I want to show, and I want you to tell everybody out there. And oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook and LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. One God's Way is the owner of the Big Game Christian Sports Network. The Shakeback Media Group, of course, is affiliated with that. Kristyn, did you know that you were talking to the most improved network personality with One
Really?
God's Way / the Big Game Christian Sports Network? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, now you know, and everybody out there watching and ultimately will be listening on iTunes, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify know that as well. Okay, enough about me. Let's get to
That's big time.
Say it again.
That's big time.
You know what? Coming from you, that means the world to me. I appreciate that. Seriously. All right, so I got a couple videos, and we're gonna start here because your daughter has become the center of attention in the last couple of sentences or the last couple of topics of discussion. So tell me and tell everybody what was going through your mind when you saw this.
Oh, good job. Hit it again. You got to get low. It's my turn, but you got to hit it hard. Hit it. And hit it. Oh, hit it hard. And oh, good job.
Just like me.
All right, so yeah, the video when it was playing, it cut out your sound. So go ahead and explain to everybody again what was going through your head when you had.
Oh, it's just, I was saying, "Go, baby, go." My friend behind her that was holding the bag was saying, "Come on, hit harder and go lower." And I was like, "Oh yeah, she's going to keep going." And just looks like a little me.
Well, you know what they say, right? Well, I don't know if you know, but I'll tell you what they say. They say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And in this case, it looks like the apple fell up underneath the tree.
She will most definitely beat me out one day.
And how old was she? How old was she at that point in time?
That one, she would have just turned 3, 2.5, 3, yeah.
So she was taking the terrible twos to another level. Okay. All right. So I got one more, and this involves you aforementioning me about you bringing the blade. So here we go. Let's roll this one again. It may be some sound that's gonna mute both of us. So after the video finishes playing, come back and tell everybody what it was that you were seeing and hearing and thinking. All right, so that was 2 plays there, Kristen. Talk to us.
It's really just me trying to find where the ball is. Like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Because sometimes you have a hard time seeing. And then once you get there, it's like, cool, let me get them down. But the first clip you see, like, I had 2 other of my own players on there, and I'm like, oh, we're all on this. Like, okay, we all got to go down at the same time. But it's kind of like an adrenaline rush where you just like, okay, it's live. Where's the ball? Go get it, type of deal.
Find the ball, attack the ball. Right?
Exactly.
I have to ask because fundamentally, I believe football is one of the hardest things to grasp. How in the world have you been able to manage? I won't say mastering it, but being very, very good at this with such limited experience. Because when we look at when those of us that have followed football our entire lives, have played it, have coached it, or whatever, we see formed tackles from you. And there's other clips that I've seen of your tape that you have really, really good formed tackles. How is it in the world that you were able to become so good at this so quickly?
Oh, it's a harder question than you think. But I think it's just natural ability and an ability to be coached. So no one's ever taught me to tackle. That my first ever tackling, they pretty much said, kind of go low and try to get the hips, and then go out there on the field. I didn't really get coached. I have an athletic family that I come from, and just staying conditioned in the gym. Sometimes I've had clips on, YouTube or whatever highlights you see come through social media that you say, okay, what are they doing over there? And then I've just tried to hone in my skills and build my craft each year going forward to do a little bit better. If you see my first year videos, it was kind of like bring down the ball. Then my second year videos, it's more like, okay, make a bigger hit. This season videos, I did a lot more pass deflection, which I had never really done before, and it was also a lot of driving with my legs this year. So each year I try to build on a skill or what I've seen or learnt the year before, and that also comes down to different coaches and different teams and learning something new from someone different and being coachable.
Being coachable. That's one of the 5 abilities that we all must have. All right, real quick. Pass out or give out your social media information on how people can find you, watch you, see you, hear you, skate with you, kick it with you, all that.
So Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, it's at Kristyn Aoake, which is Kristyn Aoake. Don't post much on TikTok, but you can definitely catch me on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and then one word of encouragement or empowerment, not just to anybody, not to anybody that's wanting to play football, but to anybody out there that has a goal and an objective to reach something that they want to reach. One word, go.
One word? I have a sentence. I saw this a couple days ago. It doesn't necessarily just apply to women, but I'd apply it to everyday life. It was, if you see her, you can be her. If you don't see her, be the first. And I think that can apply to absolutely anything. My parents have always told me you can be whoever you want. And if you don't have the role models that can tell you that, I'm telling you now, whatever you want to do, you work hard, you persevere, you build on it, you will get there.
Shake back, baby. Shake back. Dropping dimes, Kristyn is. All right, so a couple of social media comments. YouTube Patrol L11S said Samoan food is another good reason I want to try that, although I think I may have had someone on to Hawaii. I'm not exactly sure. And then also rugby, YouTube Patrol L11S also says. All right, so we're going to get up out of here. That is our time. Make sure you guys that are listening to the Shakeback Sports Show on the Big Game Christian Sports Network, come on back on the other side. My big homie, from Donald, from Press Box to Press Row, Donald Ware. He's got all your HBCU stuff. For anybody that's listening to this on the Shakeback Media Group's on the Shakeback Instagram Media Group's Twitter page, or of course on the iTunes platforms, stay tuned for more. For Kristen, for Willie, this has been the Ballers Report podcast, as well as the Shakeback Sports Show. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. I promise it's going to be all right. And we will holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.
Hey, yo, what's up, B-Double? Yo, what's up, man? These got us trapped up behind these walls, man.